Hi friends, it's Tammy. Welcome back to my homestead. Today, I want to talk about whether you and I can homestead for free. I see these videos all over YouTube talking about homesteading for free or cheap, or you're going to get a piece of property in the middle of nowhere, or you can just work on the property and take care of yourself. Well, if you can do that, that is great for you. However, me personally, I can't do that at this point in my life. I have a few notes wrote down here. I have a mortgage. I have a fairly new home here. It started out as a bare piece of land, so I had to pay to get this home put in. I had to pay to get electricity run. No, I'm not off the grid. I had to pay to get all the lines put in, and I paid for a septic tank. You may say, why pay for a septic tank? Well, I paid for a septic tank for my black water to go to. And that might be something you consider. If you have septic stool waste that flows down, or if there's a flood and the water gets out and that waste somehow gets to your drinking water, then your drinking water is not going to be any good. A septic tank can be very valuable if you're on the homestead, or if you're prepping, or whatever the case may be, especially if you have a well or a lake or something that you plan on getting water out of. You definitely do not want to get that contaminated with human waste. That's one of the quickest ways to get sick and die. Also, I live in the state of Illinois. I have to pay property taxes every single year. I may pay my house off, I may own my own home, but I still have to pay that property tax to the state every year, or they will take it away from me. I'm currently on grid. I would like to look at some solar alternatives. I would like to look at wind alternatives. I have a lake. I would even consider the possibility of some sort of water alternatives. But no one is offering to give me a solar system or wind turbines and a battery bank that's going to power my house. So I've watched videos of some people that are completely off grid and use power just, like regular people on grid. But I also realized that when you listen to them and all their videos, they may have paid $80,000 for that. I don't have $80,000 laying around to pay for that, and I don't want to go $80,000 into debt at this point to pay for it. Also, I still need equipment for my homestead. We have a tractor. We need to maintain that. We have, last week we bought a rake. We bought a shovel. We've had to buy a push mower. There's a lot of equipment. If you have a kind of a wild piece of land, it's not in town with a manicured lawn, I need a chainsaw. I have limbs that fall down. I have trees that need cut. I have all sorts of things that require equipment to do it. Also, all the equipment that I have requires fuel, oil changes, maintenance. I know they show shows in Alaska on television where these people are living in the bush and living, just on their homestead. Well, I think something very important that they leave out is these people, they might have a snowmobile. That's how, when they shoot a big elk, that's how they get back. Or they might have a boat that they use in the summer when the water's not frozen, that they go out fishing with or go to another island with. All this takes fuel. They're not getting that fuel for free. They didn't get those guns for free and that ammunition. So they have to have deer and wildlife around my house. I planted 4 fruit trees this year, and I've also found a lot of fruit trees. But I don't have milk. I don't have yogurt. I don't have nuts. I don't have eggs. I still have to establish more food systems. And I've watched YouTube, people that do have their own stuff still buy groceries from the store. I need to set up more food systems, chickens for meat and eggs, some sort of meat besides chicken. You know, fish might be the alternative that I go towards. Also, I have the internet at my house. That's how I'm on YouTube. That's how I watch your YouTube videos. And I want to keep the internet. I don't want to get rid of that just to save a couple dollars a month. To me, the internet is a good resource because if I need to look something up, I can look it up immediately. I live down a dead-end road, basically in the middle of nowhere. So if I need to look something up and I have to go to town to the library or something else, you're talking I'm going to be gone from home for an hour just to go look up some information. So I do keep the internet, and I have to pay for that. My homestead, I have just been here about 2 years, and I need to set it up to be more self-sufficient for the years to come, so I don't have to spend as much money. However, if you're developing a piece of property in the wild yourself, you still, even if you make your own wood, you have to have a mill to do it, which means you have to buy it or barter for it. And there's just things I can't produce myself. Like I said, canning jars. I can't make a canning jar. I can't process glass. Certain medicines. Now, I use herbal remedies whenever I can, but occasionally I may have to take a store-bought medicine. And that's okay, but I have to pay for it. So, no, I don't believe that I can homestead for free. Now, there are ways that you can homestead for less, but as far as I'm going to move out into the wilderness on this piece of property and live on it and never leave, and my life will be grand and I'll just piddle around the house all day and that's how I'll live, I don't think that's reasonable. I think once you get someplace set up with your supplies, that you may not need to go to town very often, but we have to have money. Like I said, if you live in a state with lower taxes, you may not have, or no taxes, you may not have property tax. But I do. So you need to make sure and realize that sometimes there's always expenses. If you have a vehicle to get back and forth to town, a lot of us will have a truck so we can haul things. Well, that truck needs fuel. It needs maintenance. And in my state, you have to have at least liability insurance on it, so if something happens and you hit someone, that your insurance will pay for that. So again, just, check in your state, think about it before you move. You aren't going to be able to live for free. You're still going to have to go to the store. You're still going to have to buy supplies. Now, over the years, as you accumulate, say, more canning jars, I'll get to a point where I don't have to buy anymore because I have enough for a year or two supply of food, and I've got food in them put up. But right now, I have to buy them. And even people that have been homesteading for a long time, there are certain herbs, certain spices that just don't grow in my area. So I can't grow them. If I want to use it, then I have to buy it. If I don't, if I can use a substitute, then I can use a substitute and grow it myself. But if there's certain things, cinnamon, I can't grow cinnamon trees here. If I want cinnamon, I have to buy it. So just something to think about. If you agree, disagree, whatever, you can leave a comment below. Make sure and subscribe. I think the next video I'll be talking about ways you can homestead for cheaper, but again, I don't think we can do it for free. So you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you in the next video.